Rooting around, making more shit with beet and rutabaga part 3. Grilled beets and cheese, fusion curry, let's go. Get out my beet pickles, my mayo, my cheese, my bread, my tomato. Gonna get some of the brine from those beet pickles to use in a dressing. And I'm gonna start by making slaw with this here cabbage. Gonna grate a beet into it too, because why the heck not? We sure have a lot of them. Just make sure your shreds are nice and even. That makes for a nice slaw. There's that beet, staining it up. I'm going to toss that through and put it aside. Now, I've cleaned up a little bit, and let's get back to the sandwiches. Violife cheddar on each side. And I'm going to start the griddle here. This nice flat top pan, which I ought to replace soon. I'm going to slice some tomato thin. I'm going to add that because Natalia likes grilled tomato in her grilled sandwiches. And we're going to add these delicious beet pickles right on top of there, just like that. Try to keep it all to one side so that the sandwiches go together nice. There's a little bit more of my reserved brine that I'm going to mix some Hellmann's vegan mayo into to start a dressing for that slaw. There it is all. And I'm going to actually use mayo to, in air quotes, butter the outside of the bread because it works really, really amazingly and imparts a nice flavor as well. Try it out if you haven't. Got to get that dressing a little more whipped. Now, on to the sandwiching. Oh, there we go. And I'm going to cover them. This helps keep some of the moisture in, helps get the cheese melting a little bit better and quicker. That's a nice flip. Hey, all right. Good job, past David. There we go. A little bit of a blowout there, but looking nice. And already we've got our sandwich plated up with some slaw. Now that was a nice quick meal idea with stuff you already made from the day before. It's one way to use those pickles. And here I'm just showing you that, wow, could you do it with a wrap? Is the question you were thinking? Well, I'm answering it here in this video. Yes, you could do it with a wrap. Kind of doing it like quesadilla style here, but then I changed my mind, of course, and decide to flip it on into a roll and kind of fry it up that way. That works really well. This way was also really, really tasty. Nothing to complain about. Now we're on to a curry. So basically you're going to start by doing the stuff from the first video, roasting some veg, prepping up some stuff, getting it ready. Now I'm going to start by taking my last few rutabaga, 2 of them, and cubing them up and blanching them until they're cooked pretty much all the way through. And I'm going to prep a sweet potato and these beets while I'm at it. Here we go with all this again, peeling, scraping, etc. But I promise it's going to be so good. We're just using a Glico brand packaged curry that I'm going to punch up a little bit. Comes together pretty quickly once you've done the vegetable prep. So, get your turnips peeled right down to the yellow, as I've been saying. Get them cut into nice, even, good curry-sized pieces. You're going to do the same thing with the sweet potato. Peel it all up nicely. Get it all chopped real nice. And clean up after yourself. So into the boiling water goes that rutabaga. And while that's happening, I'm going to work on these potatoes. They're going to be tasting a lot better if we roast them. So that's what I'm going to do. Like the first video, I'm going to do some beets and some potatoes on each side of a pan. Have those ready so I can utilize all my cooking spaces. So I'm just going to prep those beets right now. That's a stupid joke. And, yeah, just finding something appealing about those beets. Hey, that's boiling. So that's going to be done soon. And we're going to keep on going with our baked veg here. If you want to make a curry just taste astounding, cook everything separately perfectly. Takes a tiny bit of extra time, but it's really worth it. These beets are coming along beautifully. That's going to be a nice addition. And let's just get those trayed on up. Just using a little bit of oil and salt for these because the curry's going to provide the flavor after. Maybe even a drip or 2 of mustard oil would be really nice here. I'm adding a tiny bit of Maggi there. Same thing, just tossing them in that bit of oil and getting them in there when they're shiny. And once again, did I tell you I bought a cabbage? I've got a cabbage. I'm going to take some tofu and cube it, take some cabbage and get ready to saute that separately. So I'm building all the delicious components of this curry. Going to be so elaborate in a way, but also so simple and so comfort So much comfort in the flavors, I should say. So we've cubed the tofu. I'm going to grate in some ginger. That's always nice to impart flavor. I'm going to get that flat top going again because I got some more stuff to cook. And I'm going to dress everything with oil, seasoning, salt, whatever. Maggi, a little bit of 5-spice if you have it. That's really nice. And I'm going to get the cabbage going and the tofu going, one on either side here, and eventually mix them together once I have a good proper cook on them. Let that go, let it get some color. Oh, it looks nice, it smells nice, it tastes nice. And of course, we're going to prep up an onion. That's going to be for the first layer of the completed curry, the sauce. Right now we're finishing all the vegetables that will just basically dump into the sauce when it's time. So there's that onion. I'm keeping the cabbage going and I'm mixing it into the tofu now. And I forgot the garlic, so time to peel some garlic up quick and get it in with those onions. That's still actually the perfect time. I'm doing fine. There we go. It's 9:20. I like to start in the morning because that's pretty rad. You get it done and then you got lunch and dinner. Alright, this is all done, so I can take it and separate it into a bowl of things that are going to go into the sauce. You can kind of just start marrying all these things up now. Got to check what's in the oven. There's a can of baby corn. I really like those. Those go nice in this. Why not? And my roasted veg are cooked all the way through. They look really nice. There's a little bit of a cook on them, so I'm just going to stand this all here together and get it ready. Now let's start the curry. I was already thinking this pot is way too small, and, you know, it is. But whatever, I started in it, and I'm sure any minute here I'm going to come to my senses and change it to a big one. But, yeah, you basically get some oil going. You fry up your onion, garlic, ginger mixture. Get it nice and sauteed. Move into hyperspeed mode and start adding some of those curry items. And do I still not realize that this is too small a bowl? Like, come on, David. This is too small. You're going to need a bigger container, man. Hey, there we go. All right, so now I've come to my senses, and I'm tossing all the things together except the beets and the potatoes, because I want the beets not to impart as much color until right at the end. So I'm kind of leaving them. As you can see, I'm reserving them here. And basically, now I'm just going to add water, cover those up, get them boiling, and start chopping my little block of pre-made curry here. These are really, really delicious and really simple. You can follow the general ingredients and process on the back. But I went a little bit all out here and decided just to punch it up a bit, and it's tasty. Here's that little curry block here. Yeah, it just kind of comes out as like a little chocolate bar looking block there. You chop it up, get it in there, get it melting in the water. It'll thicken. And I also added a little bit of madras masala and garam masala to add some Indian fusion to this Japanese or Korean style curry. Just have a taste. Now I'm adding the potatoes and beets, bringing that to a boil, and really, really happy with it. Was I smart enough to take a beautiful picture of how I served it? Absolutely not. Was I smart enough to film me plating the picture I was going to take here? Also no. But I can assure you that this was a delicious curry. We cooked it down till it was well incorporated, and you can get a nice look at it here. I'm going to zoom in a second. You can kind of see. See? Right? That's nice. Imagine it on rice or on greens or something. It was very, very tasty. A beautiful fusion item for vegan everywhere. I'm David, and this is how I used way too many root vegetables.